Hi, I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and I quite like Commander. Like many of you do, it's kind of like your format that you use to escape the norms of Magic, right? The whole 60 card, or 80 card, or only CMC 2 or less. Get out! Get out of my head! So Commander's great, but I feel like we do sometimes fall into a rut with Commander. So what I thought I would do today is do a video of things you need to stop fucking doing in Commander. Now this can be a video that can help newer players, new to the format, players who found their first bit of fun in the format and want to grow from there, or even players that have played quite a bit. I think some of these points might make you have a bit of introspection and think, you know what, I probably should stop playing Cyclonic Rift. If you don't know who I am, I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. This beard here is actually insured for a hell of a lot of money, because it's the best one in esports entertainment. That's not true. Well, the first bit's not true, the second bit definitely is true. It is the best beard in esports entertainment. I'm just lying about the insurance thing. So here's 5 things you need to stop fucking doing in Commander. Number 1, stop playing so many fucking tap lands in Commander. In EDH, more so than any other format, you spend more time sat around doing nothing. In a game of 1v1 Magic, you only don't do anything in your opponent's turn, if they've got Teferi in play. But without Teferi, you might have some counter magic, but on the whole, you don't do a whole lot. So your opponent might tank a little bit when they've got priority in their turn, but you get passed back to relatively soon. In Commander, you're going to go around the table, hopefully only to 3 people, because you don't want to play 5 or 6 person games of Commander, honestly. And also, people don't really pay attention. People are too busy eating Doritos or drinking Mountain Dew to really plan their turns ahead. So there's a lot of downtime in Commander. So you can obviously take up crochet or knitting to improve how you feel during that downtime. But what you can also do to stop exacerbating the issue is playing so many fucking tap lands. Let's say it's turn 4 and the table is complaining that we need a Wrath because everyone has got a huge board state. It's a board stall. No one can swing. There's not enough room to swing a cat. Lewis, get out of my head. No! You're at your opponent's end step and you cast a draw spell. I don't know, Thirst for Knowledge. Is that instant speed? I can't even remember. You draw some cards, you hit your 4th land. The Wrath of the God in your hand is unlocked. You untap, you draw another card, not another land, but you've still got that 4th land. You play it, but wait, you look down. For some reason the land is turned sideways. Why? Because it says enter the battlefield tapped on it. Fuck! Okay, back in the room. You're now on 7 mana. Or you want to be on 7 mana. You're actually on 6. To cast your 7 mana Haymaker, I don't know, Elish Nord or some shit. It's going to end several people's careers here. It's going to wrath the board, grow your team. You're going to swing out and fuck people up. You just need to draw 1 untapped land off the top. What do you draw? That's right, you know, because the setup for the story, it's a tap land. Fuck! But further to all this can happen earlier in the game too. If you want to cast Cultivate on turn 3 and you've kept a risky 2-lander, you don't want to draw a tap land. You don't want to be late in the game and you're cracking a fetch to go and find that 1 mana source to cast Swords to Plowshares and you realise the only thing left is a Triome. Fuck. What I'm saying is don't play 0 tap lands, but reduce the number of tap lands you're playing so you can play your spells on curve, whether that be your setup spells, your interaction, or your haymakers. Any of those things on curve makes Game of Commander a lot more fun for you and everyone, because nothing is worse than getting miles and miles ahead and one person sat at the table feeling really sad for themselves because they've missed a land drop or they couldn't play a setup spell on turn, so they're even further behind. Yeah, just play less tap lands. Cast your spells on curve. Point number 2. Stop playing to win during deck building. Now, outside of playing like chaos decks or dedicated group hug decks, and we know both those decks are only played by fucking psychopaths, but outside of those deck archetypes, everyone is playing to win in a game of Commander, right? You might be trolling a little bit, you might end up king making because you can't actually win. But when you start out, when you go turn 1 Soul Ring, and you look up at the table and you smile with glee, you're looking to kill everyone there. And that's fair. Like, given the opportunity, like, not tutoring for the win condition so the game can go on for 15 more turns, I don't think is often, if ever, the correct thing to do in a game of Commander. However, I think where we need to reassess or, like, change the philosophy of the format is not during the game. Being cutthroat during the game makes sense. It's a fucking game you're playing to win. But perhaps limitation breeds creativity in the deck building part of Magic. I've got a few more points on this list that will develop this further. So I guess my second point on my 5-point list is more sort of an introductory point for points 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. Maybe I'm just bad at lists. But point 3 is stop playing cards that purposefully piss people off. There is a time and a place to troll your friends. There is a time and a place to play stacks to piss off Toma on Commander Clash or EDH and chill. I get it. But if there are cards that you play regularly that make the rest of the table groan outwardly, or just become salty, or sour the entire atmosphere of the game of Commander, if you leave from a game of Commander or a Commander night with your friends and people are evidently pissed off or frustrated, then perhaps you're doing more harm than good with those cards. Now, I'm not saying don't play the cards that end the game there and then and make someone a bit salty because they didn't win. That's just norm. But if you're playing your Winter Orbs, your Narsets, your Vorinclexes, and people are pissed off and no one else in the group is playing them either, perhaps consider, even only for a few games, cutting those cards for just something else, anything else. Now, obviously this point more speaks to more casual tables or people trying to adhere to the social contract of the game, and it definitely does not adhere to people playing 8s, 9s, 10s, CEDH decks, right? Those people, like me a lot of the time, are playing Cutthroat to win, and it's okay to play your Narsets and bullshit there. So it's a more casual thing, but it also applies more to the cards that don't end the game. Whilst your friends might be pissed off at Rise of the Dark Realms or Craterhoof Behemoth, if they end the game and you can shuffle up and play again, I don't see them as much of an issue as, say, a Blood Moon or a Vorinclex. And I've been known to play Blood Moon in my Perforos deck. I won't play Vorinclex because it's one of my least favourite creatures in Commander ever. But those cards don't end the game. They don't put you so far ahead that you win necessarily. They just fucking slow everything down and make it worse for everyone else at the table. So just consider not playing those cards. And the thing is, once they're in your hand, you're gonna fucking play them. Sitting there with a card in hand that you won't play for moral reasons is kind of stupid. Because think about it, you're just reducing the access to resources and therefore fun that you have further down the line by playing cards in your deck that you don't actually want to physically cast. So peel it back to deck building. Don't put them in your deck. There is an argument to having them in your deck to play with the higher tier players, and when you play with more casual, lower powered decks, then sure, exercise restraint, don't cast those spells. But ultimately, you could just not put them in your deck. Know your playgroup, I guess, is another point. I should point out that these also help if you've got a regular playgroup, which I don't really have at the moment, barring being online. So yeah, these points help when you know your playgroup a bit better. The other thing about not playing those cards that purposely piss people off is it makes playing new cards from new sets easier. Instead of struggling to find out what your cut is and then you end up cutting a land when you shouldn't, you just cut one of the cards that pisses off 3 out of your 4 friends that you play with. There you go, easy. The next point about deck building and how to improve games of Commander in general is stop relying on those crutches, those cyclonic rifts and their ilk. Are there cards that make into every single one of your EDH decks? For me, for the longest time, I'd always play a Sun Titan, a Revelant, a Karmic Guide, and Eternal Witness. The same engine, the same package. And it made my games and my decks feel very, very similar. And at the point where I was like, you know what, I don't have to include these cards in every single Commander deck that I build, it allowed me to experiment, try other things. Whilst having games feel familiar can be good, because familiarity can be comforting, it can make the game feel a bit stale. And not just for you, by the way. Personally, cracking fetch lands of Lotus Cobra in play never gets old for me, but I know it can get old and piss off my friends that I'm playing with for the 5th time with Tachyover, so it's nice to either cut those engines from some of your decks or build a different deck outside your wheelhouse, which is something we'll come to in a moment. Consider cutting some of your usual win cons or linchpins. This can extend to Sol Ring, to Solemn Simulacrum, even those sort of things. I went through a period of just not playing Sol Ring in general, and I might go back to that because I just feel like it gives you another slot, for instance, as well. It allows you to play other cards that aren't bloody Sol Ring. And what it does, these deck restrictions, or these restrictions you put upon yourself, whether it be the cards that piss people off, or the cards you always play, switching it up makes Magic into more of a strategic puzzle game, where you're not going into the game not to try and kill everyone at the table, because that's what you should be trying to do, but it's killing them with more of a complex puzzle, where your tools and your toys are the things you use to get to the end game. Now, this is a point that I want to make, and this is about hoof. I'm a big hoof enthusiast, which sounds like a sex thing, but it's not a sex thing, I promise. I think when I'm saying cut the cards you always rely on, I don't necessarily mean the haymakers. If you often win with Rise of the Dark Realms or Craterhoof or whatever, then cool, that ends the game. What I'm not advocating anyone do is, for example, cut Craterhoof as part of their peeling back from the stuff they always play, or even their twin combos or whatever combos they play, and then, well, the game never fucking ends because you can't quite end it. I have had games online and in paper. I think I've had some on EDH and Chill as well, where like it feels like I should be winning, but I can't close out the game, and it's frustrating for everyone there because they feel like if it doesn't feel earned if they then recover and win from there because you couldn't quite get it up, as it were. So sometimes having the final ending of the story be hoof isn't the problem. It's the travel, the story on the way to that destination that matters. So try changing up the bits that get there. Don't worry about playing one or two of the same top ends. Try and spice up the stuff in the middle. And on the topic of the game being a strategy or a puzzle to be solved, stop playing narrow cards. You see this a lot even with cards that you think are versatile. One of my big bugbears is things like Hero's Downfall. Now again, this isn't really a competitive card, I don't think. I don't know if CDH decks are playing it, but it feels like it should be versatile. It kills all creatures unconditionally and it kills a Planeswalker. Seems good, right? But Planeswalkers, I can guarantee you, are not the issue in your metagame unless one of your friends is a big fan of Atraxa. How about instead of Hero's Downfall, you play Mortify or Putrefy if they're within your colours, because I can guarantee being able to switch like modes from killing a big haymaking creature coming towards you to blowing up someone's Smothering Tithe and being like, fuck you, Smothering Tithe. That is golden. Looking at deck to find space for charms or commands or other modal spells with extra additional modes that might allow you to do something tricksy and cute that tells a better story in Commander than having a very efficient Swords to Plowshares, for example. How many stories do you tell your friends or reminisce about in Commander, or remember just yourself quietly sat in your room alone during quarantine about a Sword to Plowshare timely killing something? Yeah, sure, it can happen, but isn't it much cooler if someone gets you with a Rakdos charm when you've gone infinite, or some other such nonsense? I think the charms and the commands lead you to be able to piece together the solution to a problem in a sort of puzzle strategy way, whilst also making for more better stories. And what is Magic and the Gathering if not us collectively creating stories about monsters smashing into each other and fucking over your friends because of politics? So in essence, I'm saying, stop playing so many fucking tap lands. Stop building your deck to be the most efficient end goal, same slots of cards that you always do. Stop purposely pissing your friends off. Stop playing all the same fucking cards. That loops around to this one, really. And stop playing narrow, efficient answers and play versatile, wider answers. This is Commander, for fuck's sake. Have some fun with it. One of the worst things that has happened to Commander more recently is getting staples pointed directly into it. Cards designed for Commander. The new Ikoria Commander deck is going to give us a lot of free spells that everyone's going to play alongside their commanders for the most part, especially like the blue one, for example. I liked it back when you had to try and piece together your win out of cards that were designed for standard and other formats that just happen to like fit into your commander's colours. That was a lot more fun. And I think if you just stop playing the staples or the cards that you always play and try and experiment a bit more, we'll get back to those grassroots. So that's it. That's my top 5 things you need to stop doing to make your Commander games better, but not necessarily make your decks more powerful. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. I have an addiction to Crater Hoof. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit that fucking bell. Half of you haven't hit the bell. The bell tells you when I'm here. It's like me ringing it in the town square, like a town cry, going, hear ye, hear ye. Come get your fucking list videos, bitches. Until next time, be good to one another. Enjoy your socially distant webcam Commander until we can get back out there and play real Commander. And I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.
Everything about it.